last episode, I did a little teaser of my new car. So what we're gonna do for this vlog is I'm going to take it out for a little drive and take some pictures. That way we can have a montage for the reveal. And then later on, I'll talk about what kind of plans I have for it. So I want to check out a couple spots and see how the lighting is like. It's in the middle of the day right now, so there's a lot of light and I'm trying to reduce the amount of glare. So let's check out a couple spots so that we can take some pictures of this car. I can show you what I want. Right by my house, there's some medical offices and it's the weekend, so the parking lot is really open. Let me go ahead and get my camera gear and take some pictures of my car. So all the pictures are done. Let's go ahead and do the reveal with a photo montage.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like...
So there you go. How do you like my 1995 Toyota Celica? This model is also known as the T200, and the most common T200 is the liftback, whereas the one I bought is a coupe, so it has an actual trunk. My first car was actually a Toyota Corolla. It's good to be coming back full circle and getting another Toyota car, especially if it's going to be my daily driver. As far as plans for this car, I'm not really going to do too much modifying, but I am going to also have a lot of fun with it. So some of the parts that I have that are left over from my other cars, I want to definitely use on this car. My Momo steering wheel, I want to eventually put in here. It is an automatic, so I'm not going to be able to use any of my shift knobs. But for the most part, the interior is going to be pretty much stock. As far as plans for the engine, I definitely want a daily driver that's reliable and having no issues with smog. So for the most part, everything's going to be stock. I'm going to do some maintenance on the car pretty soon. The valve cover gasket needs to be replaced. The battery was recently replaced, so we're good on that. And then the previous owner just changed the oil a month ago. So very little maintenance I'm going to do in the car. Otherwise, it's going to be stock and try to keep it as a reliable as possible daily driver. One of the main reasons why I bought this car is because I want to learn how to paint. So I recently fixed my air compressor and I got all the materials and tools to be able to start shooting small parts. And eventually I'm going to turn my attention to this car and start doing all the body work and prepping so I could eventually paint this car. After I paint the car, I want to focus on my wheels and suspension. The struts are getting old, so I want to upgrade to some coilovers. And then as far as wheels, if you remember when I had my Mazda MX-6, I bought some wheels for that, and I was hoping it would fit on this, but these are actually 5x100, whereas the wheels that I got for my MX-6 are 5x114.3. So they won't fit unless I use maybe a conversion on the hubs or do a conversion on the spacer. So I'm still going to explore those options, but for the most part, this car, I have some options or some ideas on what kind of wheels I want, and it comes either down to some Graham lights or Advans. And I'm also looking at some old school work wheels. So as far as the size and the type of look I'm going for on this car, I want to probably go not too big. Maybe the largest diameter wheel I'll go is maybe 17 and either 8 or 8.5. If I could push 9 on these, then that would be great. But for the most part, it's going to be a square setup, and I'm going to have some pretty meaty tires on these. So I'm looking forward to, when I get to that stage, to be shopping for some wheels and suspension. So those are the plans that I have for my car. I'm already having some fun shopping for parts, especially for this car because there's a lot of parts and they're much cheaper than my 911 and M5. Before I ended up with my Toyota Celica, there were two other cars that were high on my radar. The first one was a red Honda Prelude. The owner took really good care of it. It was pretty much bone stock and I was very close to buying it, but I wanted to see a few more cars. The second car was a silver Acura RSX. This too was completely stock and it was in pretty good shape, but I also wanted to see the Toyota Celica just so that I could make a better decision on all three. In the end, I was glad that I ended up with a Toyota Celica and I couldn't be more happier with the plans that I have for it. So the first couple things that I'm going to be doing to this car is maintenance items. Then I'm going to start working on the body. Before I even start working on the body, I have my dent guy that's going to be coming over shortly and pulling out all the dings because as much as possible, I want to avoid using any or very minimal Bondo. And so he's going to come over and pull every single ding on this car. Nothing major for the most part, there's no rust, so I have a pretty clean platform to start off with. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you on the next one.